All right. We apparently have gone live with our first ever Puck Podcast watch party of this kind, anyway, on YouTube. So we'll expect some bumps and bruises here as we try and check and see if this is working. I'm Eddie Garcia. He's Doug Stolhand, and we are getting ready to watch the Seattle Kraken take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. And as I look at the old YouTube channel here, it does appear that we are live. So I think this is actually working. Don't know that anyone has joined yet. I'll send out the link for people to join on social media. So we'll see if we have some people stopping by here momentarily as Doug stuffs his face. But this should hopefully be fun. And we're off to an okay start because, like I said, I didn't know when I hit the live button if anything was going to happen or not. And apparently we're okay. And we have our first person joining it. It is Titan Flyer. And what up to you, Titan Flyer? I guess he's probably gonna be rooting for Seattle in this game, but we'll see. Here we go. This should be fun, I hope.
I hope so as well. How do we are we going to be seeing the game right here?
I don't think that's allowed. I would love to try that, but I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube police because it would be very surprising if we were allowed to put the stream of the game here so people could watch it. I just don't think you work in sports television. Doesn't seem like
that's why I was curious.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that would be kosher. If it was, then everybody would be doing it, and I don't know that anybody does that. So
nobody would buy Sunday ticket. They're just one thing.
I mean, I actually did some research to see if that was okay, and I didn't see anything that said no, which was weird. But I just can't.
Any rebroadcast of this transmission is strictly prohibited. Right. They say it in every game.
I know. So it doesn't, but you would think you would say, Google, can I, share a screen on a YouTube broadcast of a sporting event? And then you'd think it would say no, but I didn't see anything. Anyway, we're not going to do that because we don't want to get in trouble. But hello for Dash and Gash. Also, Kevin from North Carolina, by the way, is Titan Flyer, a frequent emailer. Who we met in Philadelphia. So good for them. By the way, is the game underway? The game is not yet underway between the Penguins and the Kraken. We'll be keeping track of it. I'm streaming it here on my desktop computer. So we shall see. We're watching it, but it's also going to be more about just talking hockey and having a good time and being goofy, which is what I think people like anyway. So we do have the Penguins and Kraken going at it. Why did we pick this game? It worked for our schedule, and why not? So that's we'd like to pick maybe a better matchup, but this is fine. We'll do with this.
What's wrong with Penguins Kraken?
It's okay. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't call this the game of the day. Would you?
No.
Okay,
but it's not a bad game.
I'm just saying. I mean, if we were going to pick any game, this probably would not be it.
Which would you have picked?
Well, since you're putting me on the spot, I guess I'll take a look here and check out the schedule. But I'll give you an answer in a second. This game coming live from the beautiful Pacific Northwest, where I have been a few times, and I'm pretty sure, Doug, you have as well as a traveling man. Love Seattle.
We were there together.
That's what we went and saw Fresno State play the University of Washington football back in the day, for sure. Game of the day. Let's see here. Yeah, there probably isn't. Maybe. Well, I guess we had Avalanche Bruins earlier. It's already a final. After the big trade, might have been interesting to see the two new guys, Marty Necas and whatever the other guy's name was, making their Colorado debut. Didn't go well for Marty. He was a -2, and the Avs lost 3-1 to the Bruins. But certainly we'll talk about that a ton on the upcoming show. We can get into it a little bit here as well. For
Jack
those,
Drury is the other name.
Of course. I'm sorry to the Drury family for not remembering that. Maybe Devils Canadiens, Maple Leaf Senators.
Maple Leaf Senators is probably the best game.
Either one. They're certainly playing for something.
And I think Flames Wild is a very good game.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Anyway, like I said.
But we only care about one game. That's the Kraken Penguins.
At the moment.
I'm watching on the Seattle broadcast, so currently have a blonde woman named Piper Shaw reporting outside the Kraken locker room. Giving some updates on she says the key to the game is for them to get inside. Brandon Montour says they've been having too much outside play.
Well, always a good idea to get closer to the net if you can.
No, let's keep it along the boards, boys.
I am watching the Penguins broadcast, which I guess kind of follows because we've decided for no reason in particular, I'll be sort of rooting for the Penguins and Doug will be sort of rooting for the Kraken just to make things a little fun, I suppose. So we shall see. And if anybody has any questions in the chat.
We got a goalie matchup, Joey Decord versus Joel Blomqvist.
Decord's not bad. I've seen him a few times this lately.
Yeah.
I don't know about, I'm not big on Mr. Blomqvist there. But
he's got a cool helmet. By the way, did you see the mask for Andrei Vasilevsky that it changes color based on temperature?
I think I've heard that. I don't know that I've ever actually seen that. Like, can you tell like during a game?
Yes, really? It goes to when he comes out, it's very faded, and then as he plays well into the game, it's very dark and bold colors.
Interesting. All right.
Game is about to be underway. We want to remind you that Snoqualmie Casino presents this face-off.
No, we don't. We don't want to remind anybody of that.
The Snoqualmie Casino.
We've got our own.
Slots are looser than the women.
We've got our own. This broadcast is brought to you by Tally Hockey Jerseys. So
I'm still not a fan of the digital ads.
It doesn't bother me one bit.
No, but it doesn't bother me, but I miss the regionalization and the ads that were different in every arena. I miss seeing Boston Pizza and Pizza 73 and those weird things that you're just like, what is this? Who paid top dollar to be on the boards there? And you just don't get that now.
Yes,
Ed is typing an email, apparently.
It's quite the loss.
He's already bored with the game.
I'm sending out an invite to people on social media, you dope. So, no, I'm not.
He's texting Karen, please come get me and say that anything urgent is happening.
Snacks.
What's that? Herbie needs to go to the doctor. Well, take it from here, Doug. I'll see you later.
No, please don't say that. That could happen at any moment.
Well, it could happen at any moment for any of us. Has Herbie not been well?
Well, he's been okay. I don't know. He's kind of with the all the teeth being pulled. He's not quite back to himself, I guess, but he's okay. He seems okay though, I think.
So. Oh, nice move there.
Oh, the game is apparently underway for Doug. How is it not for me? Am I that far behind?
We got 18 minutes left in the period.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
You got to go live, baby.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here. I'm with you. When the Kings played the Kraken recently, they came out on fire. They absolutely.
Yeah, they are off to a good start here.
The Kings have been a very good team in the first period and have, set the tone and all that kind of stuff. But Seattle really took it to them. Jaden Schwartz scored like on the first shot, and they were just off and running on that one.
Then I can guess right now who was in net for that one. David Rittich.
No, Darcy Kemper was in net. So,
wow.
Wrong again.
Rittich has been struggling.
He did not look good in his last start.
No save, Dave.
We also have the Sabres Oilers game going on, and I'm going to pull it up here just to keep track of what's going on in that one. Go Buffalo. For
Look
me,
how bored Eddie is already. He's already looking for other
why?
games.
Why are you? I'm not bored. I'm just,
We're doing a watch along for Kraken Penguins.
we are. I can multitask. Apparently, you can't.
You actually can't. It's physically impossible to do two
I'm
things.
literally watching both games at the same time right now.
No, you're not. You're
Yes,
watching
I
one
am.
game or the other.
I've got one eye here and one eye there. I'm sorry you can't. I'm sorry you're not talented.
I
enough
didn't
to be able
realize
to
you
do
were a
that.
gecko.
Now you know. You've learned something
Yeah,
about me. We've known each
I
other
have.
a long time, and yet there's still something new to be learned. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that as well. But
Oh my, was that Burakovsky? The old Happy Gilmore.
was it 12 feet over the net?
He was right in the slot and he just hit the glass. I mean, at least make the guy make a save, especially when it's Blomqvist or whatever. Make this guy make every save possible. Don't be getting too fancy.
We've got a few new friends that have joined us. Lauren has joined. Says Pens fan, but watching the Kraken broadcast because they have a great crew. All right. Meredith from Sydney, Australia, who I met. I think you did as well when I visited Sydney a few years back, is joining us from down under. Max is also here as well. So good to have you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, very nice. Let us know what you think about this. How far behind or ahead we are from you. As I look at the clock, we go to 15, 24, 23, 22. We're not going to try and get synced up here because it's impossible. Eddie and I have tried that in the past, and it is a fool's errand.
I'm a couple seconds ahead of you, but I will not spoil anything. Or at least I'll try not to anyway.
The keys to the game, storylines from the Kraken. Don't be tardy. Pittsburgh outshot Seattle 16-2 in their first period last meeting. An early dismissal, Kraken's second day game of the week. So Dan Bilesma's crew hitting the ice early. It is always weird to have an afternoon day game at home. It's one thing when the Ducks or Kings are playing back east and you play early. You get that. There's a 3-hour difference. But the 1 o'clock start for a home game is always a weird start time.
The Kings have been doing more of it of late now that the LA Clippers have found their own home and they're not sharing with two other NBA teams. So I quite like it. I enjoy going to those day games. I'm not used to it necessarily, but when they do it, I like it.
Ricard Raquel, I must say he's having a good year.
He's having a very good year.
I did not. I thought that was an awful contract when they gave it to him as he left the Ducks, and I thought, oh, good luck with that. He's shown me.
Wrong again, stole hand. Apparently, Brian Rust is not playing in this game for Pittsburgh with a lower body injury. So that is
he left. He left last game with an injury and is now out. So that's definitely a loss.
It is.
Love these Kraken jerseys, man. That shade of aqua blue is beautiful.
I concur with your assessment of that.
Right again.
Every once in a while. Matt Nieto, friend of the show, still in the league. Unbelievable. And I'm not saying that like he's a bum, but for those that may or may not know, my wife taught his sister as a student and worked with his other sister as a colleague at a local school here in Southern California. So she knows the family very well. I met Matt. He was one time a guest on the Puck podcast, did an interview with him. From Long Beach, California, went to Boston University and was originally a San Jose Shark, then was briefly a Colorado Avalanche, went back to San Jose, and now is with Pittsburgh, and he has had a hell of a career. Honestly, he was an okay college player, but to be, I don't know, in like his, gosh, I got
break time, Stu,
around 10 seasons.
He
is the NHL. That's a
hell
of a career.
In fact, this may be his 700th career NHL game.
Good for him, man.
87 career goals, 206 career points. And on the season, 1 goal, 3 assists, or 3 points. So,
I know he's been hurt. Oh, he was hurt last year, and I think he finally got back this year.
But I mean, you say like good for him, but this was a 2nd-round pick. So he had high potential when he came into the league.
I suppose, but he's just a guy. I mean,
no,
he's a bottom 6 forward, but he's he's stuck around for quite a while. I'm good. Just like I said, good for him.
What do you think his career earnings are?
How many years? Did you say how many years?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. He is in his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th year.
All right. So I'm going to say $15 million.
Make it 11th year. 15 million.
Yeah.
All right. I will take the over on that. Let's see. Matt Nieto. His career earnings are $12.295 million. That's not bad work if you can get it.
For sure.
He's on a 2-year deal, the second year of a 2-year deal, for $1.8 million total. So $900,000 this year.
All right.
All right, back to action.
Yep. And apparently I'm logged in as Locked On LA Kings on the chat. So if you see any message from Locked On LA Kings, it's actually from me. I think you probably could have figured that out, those that are watching, but so yeah.
If you hear any messages from Locked On Sacramento Kings, it is a very angry and misguided.
Feel free to ignore those. So we had the big trade, Doug, yesterday. Mikko Rantanen going to Carolina. Obviously, we'll be talking a lot about that, as we do have a couple of headlines on this week's show. But then there was all kinds of rumors. There was people saying it was Frank Saravelli was the guy who kind of broke the story for the Daily Faceoff. He kind of didn't have all the details correct initially, but he was the first one I saw that broke the story. And then he had another post that was,
bait.
I suppose so. I don't know if you saw, but he's like I'm paraphrasing, a very reliable source told me that the Mikko Rantanen trade isn't even the biggest trade that's percolating or something like that.
Oh, what a move there. Oh.
And so everyone decided, because Kevin Weeks then put out a tweet that had the Pittsburgh skyline just with eyes.
Oh, yep.
And then everyone just assumed that Sidney Crosby was going to be on the move.
Ha!
And that went wild on social media for a little while. And
oh, what a terrible turnover. Good save by Blomqvist. Was that Montour that had the chance there? That's the good person to turn it over to.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good offense.
He is, but he's not a good sniper. I'm saying if you're going to turn it over to somebody, make it a defensive defenseman.
I don't know. He's got some ability. So, needless to say,
rumors are, I've said for years, and anybody watching this probably can say it with me. The deals you hear about rarely happen, and the deals that happen you rarely hear about. Did anybody have a rumor about Mikko Rantanen getting traded to the Hurricanes? No, it came out of the blue. All the deals that we hear rumored of, JT Miller's going to the Rangers. Where's JT Miller right now? He's in Vancouver. So I'm not saying there's no truth to the rumors at all at some level that they're discussing it, but there's entire industries that make their living just saying bull feces and throwing it out there. And if they get 1 out of 10 right, they crow about how we told you first. You heard her. What about the 9 you got wrong? And I get that they're just parroting information they hear, but it's disingenuous also to just put the Pittsburgh skyline with eyes. Like, if you know something, say it. Otherwise, shut the fornication up.
Nope, that's true.
And what's with Kevin Weeks always just filming the top of his head?
I don't know.
I mean,
it's his calling card. I don't know.
Well, it's dumb.
I mean, why that decided? Why that was the? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this will be great.
I know what I'll do.
I'll make it look like I'm a blind person.
I'm almost wondering if it was like an accident and it just kind of was like, well, I'll just,
right.
I didn't mean to take that photo, but
yeah, rather than admit I don't know
do.
how to use my phone, I'll do it for every video the rest of my life. The Penguins had a little something going there coming out of the TV timeout, but for the most part, puck's been down in the Penguins' defensive zone most of the game so far.
Dash and Gash said that Nate just looked pretty good in his first game with the Avs. I was watching it sporadically. I know he was a -2 in the game. I just saw a little bit of what he was doing.
Imama's on the Penguins, huh?
Yeah, they just got him or brought him up. I saw Malkin apparently injured his lower leg on a collision with one of the Kraken, and he's still on the bench, but was kind of flexing it as he went off there.
Yeah, they showed the replay. It looked like the Kraken is lucky he avoided the injury more than. I wonder if Imama's in the lineup because of Rust being out.
That could be, but my goodness, what a quite a drop off.
Well, yeah, but you don't have a Brian Rust sitting in the minors.
No, but that guy, I mean, he's been in the Kings organization before and a few other organizations. He's a more of a tough guy than anything. He's not going to give you any goals.
No. It's just everybody moves up one. The fourth line guy is now the third, second, and Imama fills in for the fourth line guy. Yeah, he's not going to replace anything of that nature.
Meredith says that the Week's top of the head is like Les Nessman with the Band-Aid always moving in WKRP. That is a deep and old cut right there.
I get that reference.
As do I. And as you say, time for the colonoscopy.
Yep.
Oh, goalie down.
I didn't realize they had a they did a remake of WKRP.
Pens are buzzing. There's a lot of things I didn't realize they probably did. I watched a YouTube episode the other day of failed spin-offs of successful shows, and there were some I had no idea, that they ever even existed. Like, whoa.
Yep.
For every Laverne and Shirley, there's this.
Right. Well, the overwhelming majority of spinoffs are failures because it's just, the magic was in the first show. It's hard enough to create a hit show, much less a spinoff of a hit show. And some of the spinoffs, quote unquote, are, technically Mork and Mindy is a spinoff of Happy Days. You want to explain to me how an alien in 1980s Denver is a spinoff of 1950s Milwaukee? It's not. They just had one episode to introduce the character and then called it a spinoff so they could all bankroll off of it. So, but yeah, they did a new WKRP in Cincinnati with Tawny Katane, I think.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
And I'm okay if I was okay not knowing that.
Well, I got you the DVD complete series collection. It went for 4 years.
I wouldn't put it past you.
No, I hate to give it away, but yeah, you're getting that for your birthday this year.
I'm sure that's true. Still scoreless.
I know what I'm getting for my birthday from you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Nothing
except my loyalty.
I don't even get that anymore.
We're scoreless under 7 minutes to go in the first period. Pittsburgh 4 shots on goal, Seattle 3. It's been a fairly even game so far. Both teams
no penalties.
Both teams have had their little spurts here and there, but nothing really to write home about at this point.
We are still due our second commercial break, and we are well past the second commercial break time. So
not a lot of stoppages.
Not a lot of stoppages.
Trying to say here. Look at the old standings coming into today's contest. Pittsburgh is 48 points. They are 5 points behind Columbus for the final playoff spot. Of course, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in front of them, as Pittsburgh is third from the bottom of the Eastern Conference.
Woof.
20-22-8 is the record, but it
Well, the
is
good
quite
news
the
is,
jumbled group there for that final wild card spot, as
yeah,
we've talked about on the show.
the good news for Pittsburgh is they have a very young team with a lot of great prospects. They're not tied into a lot of bad contracts for veteran players.
Doug,
Ha!
we have just had confirmation on this week's guest, so we are good to go.
Very good.
With our friend from Locked On Hurricanes.
John Forsland and Eddie Olczyk have a child in the booth with them.
That I am so glad I am not watching the Kraken broadcast right now.
Well, I don't have it. I don't have the audio on, so what do I care?
Yeah,
But
well,
I don't know if he is a
win a
contest winner,
yeah,
or Make-A-Wish Foundation. I don't know. But there's a child in the booth. And there's maybe it's like bring your kids to work day, because they had very young referees like out there for the ceremonial face-off, and then they just went to the production truck and they had kids in the production truck too. So maybe it's family day for the Kraken. Maybe that's why it's a 1 o'clock start.
Could be. We mentioned the standings for Pittsburgh. For Seattle, they are 8 points out of the final wildcard spot in the West. So they got, excuse me, yeah, that's right, 8. Math is not my strong suit. They've got 45 points.
The one that looks like a snowman, Eddie.
Calgary's got 53, so they are 8 points back of the final wildcard spot. I thought Seattle would be a little bit better this year with Dan Bilesman coming in. But it hasn't been there for him this year. Goaltending hasn't been very good. Decord's been okay, but Grubauer has been pretty awful for them this season.
Yes. Good group of first names on the Kraken. In addition to Eli, Ty, Capo, Riker, Oliver. Oliver's an old school name right there. That's a good group of first names.
Okay.
Just, not a lot of great variety over there for the Penguins.
We were asked by Matthew how often are we going to be doing these watch parties? And that's a very good question.
2 a day, every day.
No. We're going to try and do it every Saturday. And the time will vary, but probably in the middle of the day, most likely, because that's probably what works best for us. But if we can, mix it up a little bit, maybe include some other people that way, we'll try. But that's what we're going to try and do. So if this is successful, then we're going to try and do it again if we can.
And if it's not successful, you will never hear from us again.
But everything we touch is gold, so I'm sure this will just, By the way, hey, I noticed we picked up a subscriber. We have 876. We are trying to get to 1,000. So if anybody
fight.
This is more important than that, Doug. If anyone happens to be watching this, it really is. If anyone happens to be watching this and you have not subscribed to the Puck Podcast channel, we would greatly appreciate that if you would do that. All right, on to the the fisticuffs they're over now. Who do we have getting out of here?
Drew O'Connor took a poke at Joey Decord after he had covered the puck, and Adam Larson went over and said, "Don't do that." And then the rest of them all hugged each other.
Yeah, not much. Nobody squared off. Nothing to see here.
No. Your healthy scratches tonight. I don't want to say the Kraken are keeping a light roster, but they have one. So he's a lonely person up there in the booth. He's probably in the locker room. John Hayden, the only healthy scratch tonight. For the Penguins, Brian Rust, Blake Lizotte, and Pierre-Olivier Joseph. And as we mentioned, Rust is not a healthy scratch. He's hurt.
I see that longtime friend Doug Wilson is here with us as well. He says good morning as he's checking in from Australia as well. Hopefully the cats aren't giving you too much trouble, Doug. We had Doug, when we tried this in a different way, which was not nearly as successful as this has been so far, but Doug joined in. Doug joined in, and his cats were really hassling him, wouldn't let him alone. So
penalty on the Kraken. Who do we got? Who's going to the box of shame? Looks like Eli Tolvanen. He even gave a look to the ref. Like, did you see that? Damn, he did. So Eli Tolvanen getting 2 minutes for hooking.
He's a hooker. Pittsburgh has a pretty good power play, which probably isn't shocking.
Yeah, when you have Letang, Carlson, Malkin, Crosby, and Rust usually.
Yep.
That's pretty good grouping.
And it looked like Letang was lined up on the wing there next to Crosby, which is interesting. Doesn't mean he's not playing defense necessarily, but maybe he isn't. Maybe he's playing a forward position here with Rust out. Who knows?
Well, I see Raquel, Crosby. What do we got there? Who else is on the ice right now? Michael Bunting.
Yeah, no Malkin.
Nope. And then
I'm pretty sure Letang I thought was out there to start the power.
Grizzlick is out there. I don't see Letang personally. Oh, yeah, there he is. So Letang, Grizzlick, Raquel, Bunting, and Crosby.
The Penguins broadcast tells me that since November the 30th, Pittsburgh leads the NHL with power play percentage at 33.8%.
Well, this one stunk. They have barely gotten it set up, and as soon as they did, they turned it over. So good penalty kill so far from the Kraken. I see an ad there for the Four Nations tournament. Begins February 12th. I can't wait.
That's right around the corner.
Oh, and good hold in there by Raquel. Good job to defend it at the point. Only 20 seconds left, though, so. Kraken going with the tight box. You are not getting a cross-ice pass on this penalty kill. Tick, tock, tick. It's over. Penalty killed. I don't even think they got a shot on net.
I don't think they did either. And Seattle just
Eli Tolvanen comes in with a scoring opportunity, which also gives his guys time to change behind him. So very good penalty kill by the Kraken.
We have some good news from Doug Wilson, as he, like I, was for a time unemployed. Apparently, he has a new job. He's a tour guide.
Oh, nice.
Which I believe he told me last time we tried to do a kind of an experiment with watching a game. I believe he said that's what he was looking to do. So
good for you,
Doug.
Yeah.
Marcel has checked in from Zurich, Switzerland. Fantastic. And we have also Lauren from the equally beautiful and breathtaking Indiana chiming in.
It's the Switzerland of North America.
Max is in South England, so we have a
international crew.
International flavor going on here. Very good.
So I'm going to keep track here. We got England, Switzerland.
Apparently this
Australia.
This time of day is a decent time for folks in Europe to join in. So that's cool.
And we're in our final commercial break of the first period. No score.
Also scoreless in the other game that's going on right now. That is in Edmonton, where the Oilers are hosting the Sabres. The final game of Connor McDavid's 3-game suspension, which we'll be talking about on this week's show as well. One of our two big stories of the week. The other being, of course, the Mikko Rantanen trade.
I'm watching a commercial for Heinz ketchup.
Congratulations.
And I don't understand it. Why do you need to? Ketchup is, oh God, this stupid commercial with Jennifer Coolidge getting her hair done.
Take it easy. Take it easy. You don't need to wish death on the woman.
Who said I was going to wish death on the
Well,
woman?
you did, or you did before in a text to me and Paul.
That had nothing to do with their commercials.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't believe that that's true, actually.
All right. I want her to be investigated for something heinous that she is then innocent of, but it's enough to get her commercials pulled off the air. How's that?
It's a strong reaction to.
What is Captain Jordan Eberle's favorite band? That is the trivia question from the Kraken broadcast. Hat trick trivia. Jordan Eberle's favorite band, Eddie. It's a Canadian rock band that has sold over 50 million albums.
Nickelback.
Since forming in 1995. You think so, huh?
It's my favorite Canadian band.
Well, Rush might beat them in anybody that has the gift of hearing. But all right.
So they showed Malkin going on. It looked like he was testing the leg, and then he let out a loud expletive and then left the ice. So apparently Evgeny Malkin is injured. I can't tell by just watching the broadcast if he's gone down the tunnel, but it looked like he tried to test it out, and it was not to his liking. So we'll see if we see him again in this game or not.
Yeah, he has only played 3 minutes of the first period, which is third least ice time for the entire lineup. So that is something to definitely, if he's out and Brian Rust is out.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, obviously.
That's a hurt. Oh, baby.
We have a goal for the Buffalo Sabres. Woohoo! Oh, crap. Edmonton has just scored. Boy, I got to enjoy that for a whole 3 seconds. Alex Tuck scored for the Buffalo Sabres to make it 1-0, and the Oilers responded 18 seconds later, unassisted Jeff Skinner. So we are tied 1 apiece late in the first period in Edmonton.
Buffalo fans got to be loving seeing Jeff Skinner score, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Come on, Matt Nieto. Let's see a goal.
Okay, Eddie.
Boy, voice is definitely different, and I remember it.
There's helium in the climate change arena.
Well, that's very unusual.
Okay, Eddie. I mean, I don't know what he sounds like.
It's Smokey the Bear.
According to Smokey the Bear, only I can prevent forest fires, and I have been dropping the ball here in Los Angeles lately.
Doug Wilson says he does not know who the lady is in the commercial you're talking about, which I'm sure Doug is saying you're lucky.
Yeah, know her. She was the Stifler's mom actress.
Yes, who somehow American
Pie movies
now had a career. Yeah. Doug also said it's Happy Invasion Day in Australia. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
How do you celebrate Invasion Day?
The way you would expect. Invade. That's a trip. Come on. I think the guy fell down on his own while he was getting a scoring opportunity.
I must have missed it. We have come to the end of the opening period.
No score.
Scoreless.
The referees are in the tank for Pittsburgh.
Penguins and Kraken.
Well, congratulations on the new job, Doug Wilson. That's excellent news. If you can let us know what kind of tours you'll be doing, where, obviously in Sydney. I know he does the Manly Spit Walk. Is that going to be involved? Or?
Very manly, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody with a sign that says, Gino, I named my dog after you.
Thank you. What do you want him to reply to that?
Lauren says, Gino back to the locker room with his knee history. This is the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, it's not good. They're 8 points out of a playoff spot, you said, and they are got 5 teams to pass. If they have to play between now and the Four Nations tournament without Malkin and Rust. Could be looking at selling at the deadline, which they should be doing anyway, honestly, because they're not going anywhere. Once you determine you have no chance to win the cup that season, you should start working on trying to win the cup that next season. And a lot of teams need to be more honest with each other.
Kevin says he also does not like those crappy commercials, he says.
I mean, no, I can't imagine anybody does. Anybody's like, oh, hold on, everybody, quiet down. Jennifer Coolidge is about to be annoying for 30 seconds. Hilarious. I'm going to go get whatever product she's hawking right now.
So Doug Wilson says that it's Australia Day, the day that modern Australia was started. He says Sydney colony started, but also the day that everything went downhill for the local Aboriginal people.
Well, I was going to say that has to be a real happy one for the Aboriginal people. Yeah. It's kind of like Thanksgiving for Native Americans.
So he says it's a combo July 4th, Columbus Day, depending on which side of things you're on.
Yeah.
He says he's doing a pub history walk through the Old Rocks area.
Oh, so it'll start off as a walk and end as a stagger/crawl.
All right.
Very good. Well, good luck with that. And if you want to promote it, include it in your emails. We'll be happy to give you a plug for anybody that might be visiting Sydney. One of the few international places, along with London and Paris, that both Eddie and I have been.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So how are the chickens? Do we have a chicken update?
They are, they're doing good. Today was the first day they let themselves out of the hen house into the coop. So you've got two different parts of the chicken coop. As the coop is the entire word for the entire structure, but there's a hen house where they go at night to sleep and be safe and much more warmer. So there's a little staircase that leads up to it from the coop area, and they do not put themselves to bed. They haven't figured that out yet, but today was the first day they figured out we can let ourselves out to get to where the food and water is. So that was a good sign. So we've had them for just under 2 weeks, and they seem to be thriving. They seem to be doing very well. They like eating. They love seeing me come over, pick a handful of grass clippings and throw it in there. They love eating the grass. Animals have a very intuitive, nutritional instinct to where they know what they need to eat and they know not to eat just that. So they'll go from one thing to another because instinctively they know I need that for health reasons. And it's interesting that they know that because us humans certainly don't. We eat crap that tastes good and not the stuff that we need nutritionally.
Like Eggo waffles?
Did you eat Eggo waffles?
I did this morning for breakfast.
And you washed it down with a Diet Sunquist?
Sunquist? Yeah.
Sunkiss? What is the name of it?
Sunkissed. Yes.
Sunkissed.
Yeah.
You washed your Eggos down with that?
I did.
You have that stuff for breakfast?
I have it whenever. It's in the cup. I think you gave me this cup that is like magical, that always keeps things cold no matter when or where. It's the greatest thing ever.
I don't know if go on.
So there's always some cold drink in there, and yeah.
That cup does not sweat, so you can keep it next to your stuff. And
it's awesome.
Let's go over the list of amazing gifts that I have given you over the years.
Well, I'll tell you
what. And then let's go over the list of amazing gifts you have gotten.
I've gotten two of them right here in front of me. One of them, I'm pretty sure you bought me this, right?
I did.
You did. I love this thing, and it's when I watch Kings games, I've got the little remote control right next to me, and when they score a goal, I hit it, and it just brings me a lot of joy. So that's a great gift. And then the space age technology with the cup, pretty good. There have been some other ones. that we won't mention, but those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised because I'm not thin, and so my wife usually doesn't appreciate me buying things that aren't, I won't say healthy, but let's just say flat out bad. We don't have a lot of junk food in the house. So every Christmas there was a former coworker who hails from the great state of Vermont who would send us a big jug of Vermont maple syrup, which I guess is a thing. And so we have this big jug of syrup in our fridge, and Karen's like, we need to use that syrup. She's like, go buy some Eggo waffles. And I said, well, okay, sure, I'll do that.
Yep.
I have not had an Eggo waffle in God knows when, and I had it this morning, and I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. Surprisingly,
how many did you have?
2. You put 2 in the toaster.
Well, but I didn't know if you went back for more.
No, but it's rare that you have something, at least for me, that you have something that you liked when you were a child or younger and haven't had it in a long, long time. And then you have it and you're like, oh, it's usually disappointing. At least I've found, but that wasn't. That was one of the rare ones that was like, wow, that's actually quite delicious. So,
yep.
Yeah. Yes, Doug, Lego my Eggo. I think they still have those commercials. I don't know. Probably.
Eggo is not advertising.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Everyone is.
Jennifer Coolidge is doing the ads.
We have a couple of chicken questions.
Go right ahead.
Meredith says, go Doug's chickens. So she's definitely pro chicken there.
Yeah.
Marcel has joined. Hello, Marcel. Or Marcel was the one from Switzerland, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He says, how much of an annoyance is the chicken feces?
0. It's completely contained in their coop. We have straw floor for them. So the majority of the coop it's on dirt, obviously. It's in the backyard and it's on the natural soil that's underneath it. But we put down probably 80% of it is covered by straw. So it gets blended in there, scratched up, moved around. You don't see it. You don't smell it. It's 0 issue, 0 problem.
And Doug also asked me how Herbie was doing with his teeth. Less biting and eating well, he says, ? Yeah, he actually nipped at me the other day. So the front teeth are still working. He's doing okay. It's sad though, because he's the only dog we've ever had that loved playing with toys. Like he'd have little squeaky toys that he would throw them all over the place. It cracked me up. He'd get him in his mouth, and he'd shake his head violently, and they go flying off, into the next room or something. And I guess, now that he doesn't have the teeth, he doesn't seem to be enjoying that as much, or maybe he can't do it the way he used to, although he does have all of his front teeth. But that's kind of sad. I was sad to see that. But he's eating soft food now. He's not eating the kibble because he doesn't have those teeth to kind of crunch up the kibble. So sometimes we'll put water in it and get it soft, and he can eat it that way. But he's doing okay. Andrew has checked in and he says, hello, Doug and Meredith. Why not hello, Doug and Eddie? But okay, that's fine.
I think he's talking to the guests, Doug Wilson and Meredith.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who he's talking to. Yeah.
So why would he tell us? Why would he include you? He didn't include me.
I would have thought he'd include both of us since we're hosting this, right? As the host, say hello to us.
Oh, it's all about you.
I can tell by your face you agree with me.
How was the syrup?
It was, well, I actually didn't use it.
Oh my God.
Well, we have a little bit left from another bottle of whatever. And so I wanted to use that first and get that gone before we went in on the Vermont maple syrup. So I'll be able to tell you, I'm sure in the near future, the taste test. Is the Vermont maple syrup actually,
It will be delicious. Natural
we'll
syrup, that stuff is fantastic. Natural maple syrup. I will recommend you something. Do you have any ice cream in the house?
No, we do not.
Get some vanilla ice cream, put a couple scoops between 2 Eggo waffles, well toasted,
Oh boy.
and oh baby, it's a good time. That was one of my favorite treats when I was a young man.
Andrew has now.
I've never been a big breakfast eater, and
That's
but
my thing.
I am a massive late night eater. I can eat entire meals just before I go to bed, and late night.
It's good for you.
I didn't say it was. I said that's how I'm wired. Everybody's got the different circadian rhythm, and that, man, I can absolutely feast at night. So when I was a kid and the parents had gone to bed, popcorn almost every night. And then if I wanted a sweet treat, it would be the Eggo waffles with some ice cream in between. Delicious.
All right, so we are waiting for second period to get going here between the Kraken and the Penguins. We had one final earlier today. The Bruins beat the Avalanche 3-1. It's a nice win for Boston. Certainly, again, we'll be talking about it on the podcast this week, but I'm imagining that the Avs are still in a bit of shock over the trade and trying to process that. Probably didn't make this the easiest game in the world for them to play. You could use that as an excuse, I guess.
I'm surprised Natchez was there, for such an early game.
Yeah, well,
and having happened yesterday.
I mean, yeah, it's true. And I believe Rantanen is playing tonight for Carolina.
Oh, I would assume so. Yeah, he's had almost 24 hours to get there.
Yeah, they're on Long Island to play the Islanders. So yeah, I mean, we don't talk about the human side of it too much, but it's like, oh, by the way, you now have to leave us and go this other team. But yeah, we'll see how he does in his debut there. That'll be interesting. But that's got to be it's hard when you lose a superstar player like that. And I don't know. McKinnon said everyone is saying they're shocked. I don't know how. I guess I understand it, but I mean, you knew he was a UFA. I don't know. Is it that shocking? I don't know. It is, but it isn't to me.
It's not. It's the Fletch line. The actual end when she actually died was extremely sudden.
Yeah.
They knew a decision was coming, but to have it come out of the blue on a Friday was probably very surprising. So it wasn't at the trade deadline. It wasn't in the off season. It was just a Friday in January, and he's gone. Let's give you some stats if you give a rip on this Kraken Penguins game for the first period. 7 shots apiece, 10 hits for the Penguins, only 3 for the Kraken, but one of them knocked Evgeny Malkin out of the game, apparently. 6 giveaways by the Penguins. That's not good. Only 1 by the Kraken. 5 takeaways. So all told by the Kraken, I should say. So all told, that's 11 changes of possession in favor of Seattle and only 4 for the Penguins as they had 3 takeaways. 5 block shots for the Penguins, 4 for Seattle. And, of course, the 1 penalty was on Eli Tolvanen. It was killed. And we go to the second period, all tied 0-0. Leading in shots, of course, for your Pittsburgh Penguins. Ryan Shea, the defenseman, with 2, and Drew Connor with 2. That's who you want leading you in shots. As for the Kraken, Brandon Montour has 2. Eli Tolvanen has 2. A few other people have 1 each.
And there is another game going on as it started about the same time as this one. Oilers and Sabres are tied at 1. Alex Tuck scores for Buffalo. Jeff Skinner for Edmonton. As the Oilers, I believe with a win, will take over the top spot in the Pacific Division with the Golden Knights struggling of late.
They were overdue to struggle.
Yeah, they certainly had a much better first half than I thought they would. So maybe they're kind of leveling off here a bit. We'll see.
Well, that would be good news for your Kings to not have to play the Oilers in the first round.
I will not argue with that point. So coming up later on today, we have a whole slew of games starting at 7 Eastern. Devils at the Canadiens, Maple Leafs at the Senators, Red Wings hosting the Lightning, Blue Jackets hosting my LA Kings, Stars at the Blues, and the Wild hosting the Flames. So just getting started here on a busy Saturday across the National Hockey League. So kind of looking forward, I guess, to seeing my Kings against the Blue Jackets. I haven't seen Columbus yet this season. Obviously, they're having a very nice year. Obviously, hoping the Kings can get a win, but Columbus is a very nice story. They had, I'm sure you saw it, Doug, the Adam Fantilli hat trick in Toronto.
Yep.
I'm sure our guy Andy saw that. But I mean, even if you are a Leafs fan, pretty awesome moment for him to go back to Ontario and his mom throwing her hat on the ice there for the hat trick. That was pretty amazing.
Well, she's a Leafs fan. She was disgusted with the performance.
Well, she may be a Leafs fan, but I'm
not anymore. She's not.
I'm guessing she's a pretty big Adam Fantilli fan, I would guess, unless it's like an Aaron Rodgers situation, which I'm sure it's not.
But, is his family against him?
Aaron Rodgers? You don't know that?
No.
Really?
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get involved in like a lot of that.
Well, I mean, you just hear things, it's like
I did not know he was estranged from his family.
Very much so. Very much so.
Well, I can see why.
Yeah, well, frankly, yes.
Yeah. But the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, There had to be some weird in that family going in.
I saw the Utah Yeti name got I don't know,
rejected.
But then that was the same thing though with the Golden Knights, right? Didn't that happen with Vegas as well? They initially said you can't use that because the Army has the parachute team or whatever, and they were able to work that out. So I'm guessing when it's all said and done that they can figure this out.
I mean, it's entirely possible. Money, as Cyndi Lauper once saying, money changes everything. So we'll see. I would hope they can figure that out so that they can have that as their name. It would be a shame if it was a copyright issue. I don't think anybody's going to be like the cup manufacturer has a hockey team.
Yeah, I mean, is it, is that what they're known for? Is it like coolers and stuff like that? I don't know.
We're underway in the second period.
Huzzah.
Oh, there's the Kraken mascot in the foreground, banging the drum. Buoy.
Yeah, not a fan.
Oh, that's nice that the Kraken have a patch on their jerseys that says Bondo. I have no idea what that means, but
well, I mentioned it in a previous show, but you don't remember apparently. But that was the name of their original owner who passed away. I think it was Bonderman, I believe, was the last name.
Oh,
so that is in tribute to him.
Very good. I'm surprised the NHL allows it. Crosby's out there, so it does not look like Malkin. Raquel, who is joining them on this.
Bunting?
No. Let me see who that is. Drew O'Connor. Oh, boy. He's playing over his skis.
Also back underway in Edmonton between the Oilers and the Sabres. Right in the glove there, O'Connor.
Yep.
Probably not going to score when you put it right in the glove.
Well, I mean, at least he shot it. I hate the guys that pass up a good scoring chance just to try and make a perfect play. Make him make the save. Well,
especially when it's a scoreless game or you're trailing.
Yeah.
Shoot
and you're Drew O'Connor, Yeah. A lot of fans returning back with arms full of delicious food as the Kraken count their money.
Andy asks if I'm not a fan of the mascot or a fan of drums. Can't abide instruments at sports. Nearest I've come to football
He can't,
violence.
or you?
Him.
Oh, okay.
Nearest I've come to football violence was with some pillock with a cowbell. Need more. He did not say he needed more cowbell. He said he needed less cowbell, apparently. Yeah, there's an LA Kings fan club.
Whoa. The Tang's cooking.
The Kings Royal Army, and they've got a guy that has a drum, kind of like the old Doug will get this reference, the old Cleveland Indians guy.
Yeah, that's what they all are for when they. Yeah.
So he beats
2
the
on
drum
1.
up there.
3 on 1 apparently is the. Oh, beauty.
Ooh, light the lamp, sir.
My batteries are dead. There we go.
All right. We have a goal. Who scored that gorgeous goal?
That looks like it was scored by Oliver Bjorkstrand.
That was a nice passing play.
Yeah, that was well done to drop it back to the point and then back to Bjorkstrand.
Yeah, so they had, for people who aren't watching, they had a 2-on-1, but it didn't materialize, so they dropped it back to the trailer, and then he passed it over to the other winger on the other side, who one-timed it into the net. So that was well done.
Assist to Andre Burakovsky and Chandler Stevenson. 2:16 of the second period, 1-0 Kraken. And let's hope that's not the last goal of the game. Chandler Stevenson with 26 assists leads the team this season. They're starting to get a little bit more chances at each end of the ice here as the Penguins had a nice try there. Well, answer the question, Eddie. Are you do you hate Bowie the mascot or Bowie's drum?
I don't have a problem with Bowie's drum. I don't really care about that. I don't know. It's kind of a weird mascot. I'm not a fan of it. It's all right, I suppose, but normally I am a fan of the mascots, but I don't know. Bowie doesn't do it for me. Sorry. But then again, Bowie wasn't intended for me, I don't think.
This will really light up the 50-year-old Hispanics. Why is that the market we're going after? Don't worry about it. Here's a replay of the goal on the Kraken broadcast network. Stevenson made the defenseman commit. I think it was Carlson. And then as soon as he hit the deck, he dropped it back to Burakovsky. And then Letang hit the deck, and he passed it right past him. Beautifully done. And now they're going over it on their iPad and saying, look how good we are.
So hope you guys are enjoying this. If you joined us a little late, this is the first attempt at having a watch party, if you will. But of course, you don't have to be watching along. It's just an excuse to kind of get together and hang out and shoot the breeze, talk a little hockey and other stuff like chickens and Eggo waffles, which is very entertaining.
Chicken and waffles, man. Roscoe's.
Haven't had
this
that
period is brought to you by Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Eddie loves them.
I will not deny that. Meredith asked if Bowie was weirder than Gritty.
Play the horn, my friend.
Uh-oh.
Sid the Kid.
All right, we are tied.
Yes. Beautiful forecheck there as he gets lost somehow right in front.
Might want to know where he is at all times, but Montour left him to go behind the net, which is never a very good idea. Not him anyway. And
No, yeah.
his teammates did not get over in time to help in coverage, and Crosby lights the lamp. We're tied.
Assists to Ricard Raquel and Chris Letang. Sidney Crosby's 14th of the season. Bad turnover there, Lordy.
And now Pittsburgh's
done.
Buzzing a bit, getting a little momentum from that goal. Is that Vince Dunn getting shaken up there? He's back on his feet.
Vince Dunn, get yourself a ticket. 2 bad turnovers, and he's just standing there watching the puck go past him.
Yeah, I think he's.
And Bilesma's going to have some.
Well, I think he's a little. Yeah, he's not doing well. He's getting off the ice slowly.
Oh, he's making it look like he's hurt to explain his bad play.
Wow. So yeah, we're gonna try and do one of these. I mean, I don't know if we can do it every Saturday. Obviously, if we've got stuff going on, ain't nobody paying us to do this. We're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts. But yeah, we're gonna try and do this. If we're not doing anything, if we're available, we're gonna try and do this every Saturday. And we'll give you a little bit more warning next time. We'll promote it a little bit better. Matter of fact, before we sign off, maybe we can take a peek at what the schedule is for next Saturday and go ahead and pick out the game right now. But, and I know sometimes schedules change if things pop up, they do, but we're going to try. We're going to try and do this, and people seem to enjoy this. I know we did the old hot mic things, and those were. I don't think those are as well. I don't know. Easy to do as these.
No, they were not accessible as YouTube.
Right. So, and people every once in a while will be like, "Are you guys ever going to do that again?" And so here we are. We're going to try and do this.
Next week we got quite a variety of games, depending on what time you want to do it.
Or you want to go ahead and look at it now, or
I'm looking at it right now. We got if we wanted to do it around this time again, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. You've got the Rangers Bruins.
Not bad.
If we did it a little bit later, we would have the Wild Senators, Islanders, Lightning, Predators, Penguins, Jets, Capitals is a good one at 4 o'clock Pacific.
Unfortunately,
Maple Leafs, Oilers.
Yeah, my responsibilities. I've got the Kings game I have to watch for the.
You don't have to watch it live.
Well, I kind of do, because I'm apparently going to do the show 7 days a week now.
What?
Yeah, I'm doing the show 7 days a week now, so I kind of do have to watch it.
Is that a?
It's a choice. I did not know that was an option. But I heard our manager say something about doing it if you want to do it 7 days a week, and I'm like, what? Since I don't have a full-time job, I am available to.
Are they paying you more money?
They're not paying me
7 days a week.
They're not paying me more money, but they are paying me money to do it, which is.
So you're getting paid the same for 5 days a week or 7 days a week.
Yes, that's correct.
Then what is your incentive for doing it the extra 2 days?
It's 2 extra days of money.
I just asked you. You said they're not getting more money. 5 days.
I thought you were asking me if I'm going to get paid more money than I normally get paid. No, I wouldn't be doing it for free. No, not.
Okay, so you are getting additional funds because you are doing it additional days.
Yes, 2 extra days of work. So
gotcha.
So anyway, the point was I do need to watch it. So
Update that Yevgeny Malkin lower body injury will not return. So he is out for the game.
Not a surprise.
And they are down to 11 skaters, 11 forwards, I should say, for the Penguins. And 2 of their best are out of the lineup in Rust and Malkin. So tough task here on the road against Seattle. And yet they are outplaying the Kraken thus far with 14 shots to just 9 through almost half the game for the Kraken. That's not good. You're on pace for 20 shots. Got to be better than that.
So we do have some good mascot talk going on now in the chat. And
well, the late game next week is. I was going to say we can do the Red Wings Flames if you want to do it after the Kings game, but I'm guessing you have to do the Kings show after the Kings game.
Yeah, I think that Rangers Bruins game would probably be best for me if that's okay with you.
Jimmy crack corn, man.
All right. So for all of you watching, heads up, next week, that will be a 3:30 p.m. Pacific Eastern time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. You guys will have to figure that out in Australia and Switzerland and England. We'll do the Bruins Rangers game for a watch party next week. So there you go. But somebody had asked me Bowie versus Gritty. I wasn't a big fan of Gritty initially. It's kind of grown on me a little bit. So I would have to go Gritty over Bowie for me.
I would take Bowie. Not a Gritty fan. And I love mascots. I'm not saying I'm opposed to Gritty, but if I had to pick, if I could have one at my birthday party, it would be Bowie.
Who would be the one, if you had your choice of any mascot, who would be the one at your birthday party?
Making sure I weigh all.
You don't have to give us an answer right now. You can give it.
Well, it's not that deep. It's not a philosophical question.
Well, I don't know. For a man who loves mascots the way you do, that could be a very difficult question to answer. I think they're asking, or they're discussing, as I'm kind of scanning the chat here, and it is interesting. I guess they do have mascots in internationals. It's not an American thing or a North American thing necessarily. Although I didn't know. I mean, I don't watch a lot of
good.
I don't watch a lot of European soccer or anything, but I don't recall ever seeing mascots running around. But Andy was saying the Yorkshire mascot is Vinny the Viking. Don't ask why.
Because that's what was available. Oh, man.
Chris Style has joined us, longtime listener and supporter of the show. Hello, Chris. Nice to have you. Andy, a big fan of Gritty. Oh, Chris says that you would need to have Boomer as your mascot.
Almost assuredly, Boomer would be fantastic for a lot of reasons. But I was going back to the old, for nostalgia, would I want the fruit striped zebra or the Teddy Grahams bear or the Oreo cookie? The Oreo cookie was pretty fantastic. And Mr. Peanut. The only problem with Mr. Peanut is the human arms and legs. That really takes you out of it.
Well, would you want like big save there? Would you for Pittsburgh? Would you want because when we see Doug is referencing back in our college days, we were at a women's basketball game for some reason, and there was maybe it was because they were having the mascot game at halftime. That's probably
I was covering the game for the Daily Collegian, the local newspaper, and you went along because we had nothing better to do.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it was probably free.
It was free.
So they had halftime. They had a mascot basketball game.
Yes.
And the people the Bulldog, our mascot, Fresno State Bulldog, Timeout is his name. And there's a person in there who actually does, they've actually been in the costume for a while. They kind of know some things.
They do it year round.
The other ones, it was pretty much a group of people who they're like, you need a few bucks. We need you to go play in a
right.
These people, they had no athletic ability. They probably had not had the suit on more than a couple of times, which was phenomenal because they couldn't see. They couldn't dribble the ball with these big foam hands. It was a disaster, but it was hilarious. We were laughing.
It was as close to hallucinating as I will ever get, I hope. It was like taking acid.
Mr. Peanut lost his top hat trying to go up for a layup, and then he's like, "Oh, where's my hat?"
Yeah, he had the cane and and he was holding his top hat on and then trying to dribble with the other hand. and the Oreo cookie shook violently from side to side whenever he ran because the arms were there. So he was trying to catch up, and the fruit striped zebra just stood there and looked around trying to see what was going on. It was fun. That was great. So that's what I mean for nostalgia for sure. Those would be great. But Boomer would be a fantastic mascot to have. Of course, Wild Wing would be probably the tops, and then Pat Patriot would be in there.
No. Andy says
he's no Steely McBeam.
They both suck. They both are terrible. Andy says that, of course, the peanut has human arms because peanuts don't have arms. What else are they going to have? It's a fair point.
Cartoonish arms. I mean, they don't wear top hats either, but it's not, it's a cartoonish large top hat. So,
by the way, does fruit stripe gum still exist?
I'm sure it does, and I'm sure it's the same batch they made in 1973. So I was going to tell you that's why Eggo waffles taste the same. They still haven't gotten through the World War II surplus they had when they sent them over to our boys overseas.
God bless them.
Yep. Boy, these taste the exact same. Yeah, no kidding. Look at him. He loves it.
I did.
Did you have anything with it? A little bacon, little sausage?
I had some scrambled eggs with some bacon bits sprinkled in.
Bacon bits, like from out of the can?
A bag,
Okay. So bacon crumbles kind of thing, not like that thing you would add to a salad.
No, it's what they're for. It's for, you could put them in a salad, but they're like real bacon bits. They're not like the imitation.
They're not intended for Herbie and Eddie, are they?
No,
you didn't steal food from them. My God.
No, these are not those bacon strips that you give to dogs. I can't remember the name of them.
Bacon strips.
Okay, there you go.
Dogs don't know they're not bacon. That's their slogan.
I suppose that's true.
Dogs don't know what bacon is either. They just know it tastes good.
We're still tied up at 1 apiece.
Oh,
6 minutes to go here about 6 minutes to go here in the second period.
The Kraken have come alive here in the second half of this period. They are dominating right now. The Penguins defensive pair was out there for over 2 minutes each.
That's always good.
They were able to get a clear and get a change. But yeah, that is way too long. People that don't watch hockey are always amazed when I tell them that like the average shift is like 30 to 45 seconds. And if you're out there for a minute, you've been out there too long. And they're like, really? I'm like, yes. If you're trying as hard as you can and exerting maximum effort for a full minute with people hitting you potentially, you get tired.
Yeah, especially stopping and starting if you have to do that.
Yeah. Commercial, Stu.
We have an update. Kevin has informed me that there's been a goal in the other game, and the Buffalo Sabres have taken a 2-1 lead against the Edmonton Oilers. Thanks to a Yuri Kulik goal, his 9th of the season. He is currently my favorite Buffalo Sabre. Go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. As they are approaching the midway point of the second period in Edmonton.
Former Duck great James Reimer in net for the Sabres today. Rhyme time.
I do not remember him on the Ducks.
No?
No.
It was literally this season.
Wow. How many games did he play?
2. They claimed him off waivers from Buffalo when Gibson was hurt to start the season. And then when Gibson returned, they put him on waivers, and Buffalo said, we'll take him right back. Thank you very much. So 2 games for the Anaheim Ducks, James Reimer.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten the jersey, the Reimer jersey.
They wouldn't sell it to me. Active players only.
Chris asked a very important question. Did Eddie take a cookie snack break in between periods? I did not.
That's a good callback there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all know what that means too. The romance is gone. No cookie snack break for Eddie.
Ridiculous. Oh, there's your girl on my broadcast. By the way, speaking of your girl, your legitimate girl, I guess, did you ever see that movie she was in?
You'll have to be more specific. She's been in a lot of movies.
Not lately, she hasn't.
Oh, you're talking about Red One?
Yes.
No.
Pretty sure it's a streaming at this point.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Did you? Well, you saw that other one she was in that was really apparently terrible, right? The Shazam sequel.
Well, yeah, but that's a DC movie. I'm a DC fan. I'll see that no matter who was in it. She was fantastic in it.
I'm sure she was.
Yeah.
How old is she now?
I mean, I got to think mid-50s.
Yep.
I don't know exactly.
Lucy Liu, of course, we're talking about Doug's.
Yeah, she's holding up well.
Doug's Hollywood crush, I guess you would say.
Yep. Yeah, that was not a good. I loved the first Shazam movie.
It was good.
It is maybe my favorite comic book movie of all time.
And on your recommendation, I did not see the sequel.
Yeah, that was extremely disappointing. Most sequels are extremely disappointing. It's a rare one that
fair
exceeds expectations or recaptures the magic.
Chris asks if we have any Tim Tams currently in our homes. We do. I don't think we do not. We do not have any Tim Tams. Hint to any of our Australian friends that want to send us any of our Tim Tams.
No, the Tim Tams are readily available here now, so that's not necessary.
Not the ones that I like. The white ones.
Racist. We do not.
My fault, they're delicious.
I just delivered a care package to Chris Kohler of Tim Tams.
Oh, nice.
So he has, I don't know if he has any left, but he was loaded up with some recently.
Very good. I hope we have an email from Chris this week because of the big Avalanche trade. He's a big Avalanche fan, so hopefully we'll get his take on that deal.
Well, he didn't like it. I know that. I mean, no Avalanche fan was like, wow, what a great deal. What a trade.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, probably wouldn't have felt real good at the end of the year if they would have lost him for nothing. If, they weren't going to be able to re-sign him. I mean, you got to make those tough choices. You and I talk about it all the time. You can't let assets like that walk for nothing. And if they couldn't, if he wasn't going to, if they weren't able to meet his price and he was going to stand firm at whatever, 14, 15 million a year, and they felt like we just can't do it, then you got to make a very tough decision. But sure, I can understand why no Avalanche fan would be happy about it.
Correct. Although Marty Necas is not bad.
He's not. He's a good player. He's not Mikko Rantanen, but he's
You're getting the worst end of that deal. The team that doesn't make any sense is
Chicago.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that.
Like they're just idiots.
We'll help.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the kid in the neighborhood that would always, he'd do anything to hang out with the cool kids, whatever they want. You want to eat my snacks from my kitchen? You want to use the new toys I just got? Whatever you do, just let me hang out with you. And it just felt like that. It just felt like, why would you facilitate this for him? What's in it for you?
Hello to Dave Taylor, who has joined us.
Hey,
former NHL great, or just a guy who's also named Dave Taylor.
Most assuredly the latter.
Yeah. So good to have you, Dave.
I complain about commercials a lot, but this guy, the chaos dude for Allstate, those are fine ads. Oh, they've been running for a long time now.
That guy is going to agree with you in that he has made quite a living, just like Flo, on these commercials that have been going on.
Well, that guy was a legitimate actor.
Yeah, but he wasn't
got into that. No, but Flo is just some person that got cast in that and is
I'm sure she
was a millionaire.
I'm sure she's an actress. I'm guessing she wasn't off the street.
No, right, but she wasn't known for anything until she got cast as Flo. This guy was in shows before he got cast as that. Oh, we got a delayed penalty against the Penguins, and the Kraken are going to the power play, tied 1-1 with 4:05 left in the second period. We are looking at childhood photos of the Olchek family, and boy, oh boy, I don't know what to describe that Ricky and Eddie Olchek photo as. My goodness. Eddie Olchek, the older son, the older brother. It is very 60s. I will say that.
Yeah, I think we've got multiple Olcheks on the Kraken broadcast, I believe.
Come see our Olcheks.
Mm.
That's a man that definitely takes advantage of the casino sponsors.
Is that so?
Yeah, he's always been the big horse player.
Well, horses for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Horse owner, as a matter of fact.
Andy says, let me tell you, having worked in the UK ad industry my whole career, watching North American ads is an eye-opener. How so?
I can guess what he's going to say.
All right.
Number one, it is illegal around the rest of the world to do what we do, which is advertise prescription drugs. So it is mind-blowing to everybody else to see, like, what do you mean this is an ad for a drug? You go to your doctor and the doctor tells you what drug you need. You don't go to the doctor already knowing what drug you want. That's stupid. That's not how it works. You're not a medical professional. You're watching television. That's number one. Number two, every commercial in America is a 30-second comedy piece. And that's not the case overseas. They actually sell the product and tell you why you should buy it or why you will enjoy it, and not just try to do a skit and make you laugh. And then at the end be like, oh, by the way, buy ketchup. Oh, they're going on a 2-man advantage as Chris Letang is hot, but he cross-checked Matty Beniers in the back.
I think he said the F word.
That's an unsportsmanlike. It is specifically in the rule book. If we got to get it right, we got to call the rules as they are in there.
Yeah, he went down pretty.
Well, but he also cross-checked him. I mean, he did cross-check him, and I don't think he would have fell had he not been cross-checked. It wasn't the most vicious thing I've ever seen, but it was a cross-check. So 2-man advantage for 1:20, and Dan Bilesma has called that timeout and has his assistant coach, I forget her name,
Jessica Campbell,
drawing up the play as the boys lean over the bench on the ice and say,
Is that what they're saying?
I mean, they never look like they're riveted or paying attention or anything, you know?
They're not looking in the stands. I mean,
but I mean, it's just they're drawing up a play, but it's not like it's out of the blue. Like, we're going to give them the old picket fence, boys. Don't get caught watching the paint dry.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Are you drunk now, shooter, again?
No, it's okay. He's one of my coaches. Technical foul. What?
Love that movie.
It's absolutely top 25 movie of all time for me. The Hoosiers is what we're talking about. But no, they pay attention, but I think it's just, visual reminders of what they're trying to do and stuff like that. So I got no problem with it. It's not a commentary on her or the Kraken. It's just indicative of what we see from them, a lot of teams.
All right, we got hockey action here as the Penguins clear it down the ice, and Seattle will regroup. A little under a minute to go here in this 2-man advantage.
I would like to see them eliminate the free icing on the penalty kill.
It would certainly make the power plays more potent.
Yeah, you can still clear it, obviously, but you can't just chuck it down the ice without a offensive zone face-off and the same players on the ice. And it's exactly what we want it to do, make the more offense in the sport. Nice setup there, but
ooh, good save. Can't clear it. And there's a goal. Go ahead and blow your horn there, Mr. Stolhan.
Dying to blow your horn.
Kraken with a 2-1 lead.
Extra points to anybody that can tell me what team horn I have selected for today's game.
You couldn't select the Kraken, right? Because they didn't exist when you got yours?
That is correct.
I think the
also
same
not
applies for mine.
existing, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I've got Vegas, but I do not have Seattle on mine either.
Yeah, so a beautiful shot from the point.
Ooh,
from Vince Dunn.
Top corner.
So Vince Dunn, who was faking injury because he had such a crappy
What a
shift
comeback.
earlier, is suddenly feeling fine. We want to remind you that Kelsey Ballerini is coming to Seattle on March 15th or March 13th, and that's the entire ads of the boards right now. Kelsey Ballerini, whoever the hell that is.
By the way, Andy says that, our ads are not subtle. He says that we go for the jugular.
But Andy and the other international people, am I correct that prescription drug ads are not allowed overseas, correct?
Oh, Kevin informs me that the Oilers have tied it up. Boo. Let's see who scored for those dirty Oilers. That would be Ryan Nugent Hopkins, 14th of the year. We are tied at 2 under just over 5 minutes to go in the second period. Sabres and Oilers tied at 2, and the other game going on in the NHL right now.
As we are coming to an end here in the second period, still a 2-1. The Penguins have killed off the second penalty and are back even strength and are cooking. And oh my, almost a goal for them.
We say
Crosby with a missed opportunity there.
We say goodbye and thanks for joining to Kevin, who is off to enjoy some dinner there in North Carolina. Thank you, Kevin.
We'll see you Kevin. Time. Enjoy, and thank you for joining us again next week. Rangers Bruins.
Sorry, I think I saw what you saw. Maybe a couple seconds. That stick blade going flying. Yeah,
and luckily there's a netting that stopped it, but that thing looked like
it looked like a boomerang.
Yeah, the faulty O-rings.
Oh Jesus! I don't think it was the space shuttle exploding.
Well, this stick was going all different directions there. End of the period. 2-1. Kraken have the lead going into the third period. That was a good period of hockey. All 3 goals were scored. Kraken had 9 shots through halfway through the game, ended up with 20 shots total. So they had 10 shots there, 11 shots, I should say, in the second half of the period, including the second goal on the power play with the 2-man advantage to make it a 2-1 game. Vince Dunn from Jared McCann and Chandler Stevenson on the power play. So we go into the third, 2-1 Kraken. Back over in Edmonton, it is 2-2. That game is in Edmonton, by the way. So they're on home ice, even though it's an early start. I guess take advantage of a triple header for the Hockey Night in Canada folks. And 2-2 late in the second.
The international flavor of this watch party continues as we welcome Joseph from Sweden, who is with us. And he says you cannot run ads for prescription drugs, apparently in Sweden, nor can you run ads for alcohol or tobacco.
What is his name? Joseph?
Yes.
Joseph, var kommer från du?
Oh. And gambling, he says. No gambling ads.
Yeah, as I'm watching an ad for gambling. In America, we lean into our vices. Are you a drug addict? Here's a drug you need. Are you a gambling addict? Bet $5, get $200 in free bets. And if you like your hooch, boy, have we got that.
Oh, he says loads of gambling ads. He said and gambling. I thought he meant in addition to.
Oh, okay.
But he's saying no, they have lots of gambling ads, apparently. Meredith says Canada can have ads with the names of drugs, but not actually tell you what it is.
Oh, that's a fun one.
So a blood pressure ad was someone sailing in a lake.
We do that all the time. Yeah. This thing it's going to remove your. This thing's going to help you breathe better if you have asthma, and it's the person, biking up the Grand Canyon and having the time of their life.
Joseph says that he says that he's a 25-minute drive from Malmo in Eslov. Probably didn't pronounce Eslov, but the O has the umlauts. I don't know. Is that a Sweden thing? Is that pronounced correctly? Right.
That is usually an indication. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of a Eslov.
Yeah, you're talking to him, not me, because I don't know.
Yeah. So. Well, welcome, Joseph, and all. We now have 4 countries represented as well, other than United States and Canada. Eddie has turned off his microphone as he is having a heated discussion with Karen about the lack of cookies. What has happened to the cookies in our relationship? I am hungry for cookies, woman. Look at him laugh. He knows it. Of course, Eddie's hat is a reminder to get your prostate checked.
No, it is a old school Pittsburgh Pirates hat. Karen is on her way to go have ice cream with her nephew, and she has dropped Herbie off here in the bedroom to hang out. So, old toothless Herbie,
old gummy.
Not well. It wasn't on my hand the other day, but yeah.
I always love the disclaimers on the prescription drug ads. Do not take if you're allergic. No dung.
I love the laundry list of
side
effects. This could result in anal bleeding.
Yeah, anal bleeding, temporary blindness,
death, stroke,
heart palpitations. Yeah, in rare
I just wanted my wart to fall off. I mean, is this really worth this?
Yeah, I'll live with the nail fungus. Jesus. Oh, Bob Woods is he Kraken assistant coach? How about that? Former Duck assistant coach.
That's right, Herbie.
Bob Woods?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
He's saying Lego my ego.
Oh, Meredith must follow my wife on Instagram or something. She asked if Herbie has his glowing collar. As she, I think she posted a photo of taking him for a walk. He has like a, I don't know if lime green is the right word. Fluorescent green collar. So, if he gets loose or whatever, people can see him in the dark and when the sun goes down there. And he looks like like a little lightsaber running around. But he is not wearing his fluorescent collar at the moment. No.
Where's your lightsaber?
It's back here.
Go light it up for us.
I'll move my head. You can see it back in the back corner there. You can see
Go light it up for us.
I'm not. What am I? Your.
It's intermission.
Dance for me, clown. What am I?
Yes.
What am I? Your performer here?
Yes, literally.
No, I'm not.
It's intermission. I think the people would like to see your lightsaber light up. You referenced it.
A euphemism.
Well, I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Although, if you can still light it up, good for you.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's right, Herbie.
Is he talking about what I think he is?
Yes, he's actually that person to do that. I don't think it has batteries. Actually, I think the batteries need to be replaced. So,
are we still talking about the lightsaber?
Yes, we are.
I didn't realize batteries were involved.
Doug says the sun puts out less light than Herbie's new collar. I don't know about that. I don't know that that's accurate. Doug says it's radioactive green, not lime.
He looks like what was that one the inanimate object that won in The Simpsons?
The rod, isotope rod or something.
Yeah.
Well, can you hold down the fort here while I go and refresh my beverage, or should we take a little break here and come back in like 5 minutes?
No, I can hold down the fort. I
All
don't
right.
see the comments though,
Oh,
so I'll
well,
just be doing a soliloquy, to be or not to be.
okay.
So
Andrew says it was an inanimate carbon rod.
there you go.
Andrew says Eddie's been in between jobs a few weeks, and now this is a OnlyFans stream.
How quickly things devolved.
Yeah. All right, I'll be back in a second. Doug will be here to entertain you for a few moments. I'll be back.
All right. Adios. Well, I wish I could see your chats, but I don't have that access. Eddie keeps me from that. But as we look at his backdrop, let's take a look and see what we can see. We will talk about him in private. Obviously, he's got his Stanley Cup over there. Picture of him with his favorite mascot, Bailey. A lot of bobbleheads and Funko Pop characters back there as well. Eddie has a professional backdrop because he does these YouTube channels every day. I went with the virtual one because I don't do these every day. I was thinking about building one, but can't be bothered. Let's see. So what else does Eddie have back there that we can take a look at? I don't know. We'd have to have him give us a look or an examination of what some of that stuff is. I don't see his lightsaber. And that's not a euphemism. I don't see either one of his lightsabers. Let's put it that way. So he would have to show us that in more detail. But I see he's got his Sports Illustrated cover from when the Kings won the Stanley Cup. Picture of him and his wife with the Stanley Cup. Some books that I guarantee, has not read a single one of. But I'm sure are hockey or sports related. I would be surprised if he had, the latest Tom Crichton book. But we'll see. We'll ask him when he comes back. Let's see what Eddie might. Let me see if I can find the chat here. Aha! I have found it. Yes, time for more Sunkissed. That man is hooked on Sunquest. And yes, Andrew, that day has come. I have learned to use a computer. And no, you are not all fornicated. Keep it clean here, man. Keep it clean. Let's see what we've got else here. Oh, you guys are talking about your beverages. I am drinking, as I am trying to get healthier, and the green screen will not allow you to see it very well, but I am drinking a can of lemon lime Poppy, Poppi. It is a soda that has no sugars, and I should say natural sugars. Let me see what it says over here. No fake stuff with prebiotics. Yeah, it's a healthy soda, basically. I'm trying to avoid, it has organic cane sugar. I'm trying to avoid high fructose corn syrup as much as possible. I did read, I think if you listen to the show, you may have heard a recommendation of a book called The Dorito Effect from a listener. And I'm reading that. I'm halfway through it, and it has opened my eyes quite a bit to the nutritional value and the deteriorating nutritional value of some of our foods, including natural foods that are not as healthy as they used to be. So that's been very interesting. But I've been trying to drink healthier options because I know soda is not great for you. And yeah, so anyway, I'm drinking a lemon lime Poppy. It's the first one I've ever had, and it is absolutely delicious. I'm very impressed by the flavor of the Poppy. So very happy with that. And my wife had a berry flavored Poppy beverage, and it was delicious as well. She gave me a taste of that before I came on the air. And, very good, very good. Let's see what else the chats have to say. Icelandic Stout, Oktoberfest. I know Doug Wilson is a big beer drinker. No more RC Cola for you. No, I still have a case in the garage of Cherry RC that I randomly found at a supermarket here, and I bought immediately before they admitted it was a mistake and took it back. But it's a rare treat now. It's maybe 1 or 2 a month as opposed to a multiple times a week kind of thing. So it is a special treat for me now. And yes, Poppy is expensive. We got these off of QVC, which is a televised shopping channel. And they had a case of 24 for, I think, $30. And there's 16-ounce cans. So they are very expensive individually, but this was a hell of a deal. As a 4-pack at my store of Poppy is $10. So getting 24 for $30 was very nice. And Eddie is back. Thank God.
Hello, everybody.
Eddie, give us a tour of your backdrop. And we don't see we don't see your lightsaber. So go shake it for us if you know.
Shake it?
Shake your lightsaber. And then when he comes back, of course, I will tell him to shake the other one. I'm shaking my head so you can see me visually. No, not that one. The other one. Tell us what you got on the bookshelf behind you to your right. Not the one to your left that has the Stanley Cup. Huh?
Books?
I understand that. I said, I guessed you have not read any of them. Is that correct?
Oh, I don't think so. I think I've read.
What books do you got back there? You got any from Dr. Brian Kennedy?
All of them. Yeah, pretty much.
They're all from Dr. Brian Kennedy?
Well, all of his books are available. Okay.
Including his romance novel?
I don't have that one. I was unaware that he had done
did.
That.
That was his pandemic baby. It is not well received.
I can understand that. It was a novel about him and cake.
That is correct. I was going to make the same observation that his affair with cake.
Doug Wilson asks if you get coyotes or foxes in your area because of the potential danger for the chickens.
Coyotes, yes. We have a pack of coyotes that are I've seen in my neighborhood multiple times and are definitely in the park down the street. I see them pretty regularly. And we have raccoons, possums. I don't believe we have any foxes. I've never seen one or heard tell of foxes in this area, but definitely other predators. And as a result, the chicken coop is completely encased with
carbonite.
Not carbonite, no. Very strong wiring that is included in all of it. And then I built a predator apron at which basically is hardware cloth that is tacked to the coop itself to keep it stable, and then landscape staples nailing it into the ground and that goes for about 2 or 3 feet around the perimeter of the coop so that no fox, coyote, possum, raccoon could possibly dig under to get to go underneath the coop and get in and get access. So they are very well protected from all sides.
Very good.
Yeah, they're spoiled. They're living large. It's threat of rain here today, and they are completely covered. They will not be in the rain at all, so they'll be fine.
We got jokes. Dave Taylor said, "I thought the Coyotes moved to Utah." Ha.
I don't get it.
Yeah. We have a new name I have not recognized in the chat here. Finkelstein is here. I can only read the name that has been presented. So hello to you, madam or sir. And Russell has also checked in.
I'm going with sir on Finkelstein.
Yeah. It's two words. And Russell says that a possum wiped out their chicken coop in West Virginia.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And he quotes Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park saying, "Nature finds a way." At least that was my take on his comment there.
It's amazing, right? Like you've seen possums, Eddie, and they're not the fastest animals in the world. And chickens,
especially when I hit one with my car.
Well, you were trying to hit it. I mean, you had gone up onto the curb.
No, some people do that, but not me. That's for sure. I was not happy about hitting that thing.
But the chickens are fairly territorial as far as pretending. Oh, even Bowie has his child there at the game. So it's definitely a family night.
Interesting.
But no, the chickens will, you would think, take care of themselves and attack it, but obviously not. That's terrible. That is awful. That would be worst case scenario, going out there and finding them.
Yes.
Dead or injured or just flat gone and just a bunch of feathers in their place. That would be awful. Awful. I mean, they're not pets. I'm not naming them on purpose, but still, that would be very disturbing.
All right, we're about to get underway in the third period here in Seattle, where the home team, the Kraken, lead the Penguins 2-1. If you've joined us late, Evgeny Malkin injured in the first period in this one, has not returned, lower body injury.
The man between the benches is JT Brown.
Yeah.
How about that? I recommended a show to a coworker a few days ago, and it's on Netflix. It's called The Characters, and specifically the Tim Robinson episode. It's a sketch comedy show where each person gets their own episode to kind of do with as they please and do their own characters. And Tim Robinson, the star of I Think You Should Leave and former Saturday Night Live talent, had one episode, and his characters were fantastic. And there's specifically a limousine employee that made me laugh very hard. So I recommended it to a coworker. And I said, you got to check out that episode. And he just texted me with a line from one of the characters, and just out of context, because I'd forgotten I recommended it to him 3 days ago. The text I get from him is, "Hey, fat F, that's my steak." And out of context, I'm like, what is he talking about? And then I remembered that was a line from one of the characters' skits. And if you have not watched it, and it's available on Netflix in your country, The Characters Tim Robinson episode, the limousine driver skit in particular, I found hilarious.
Joseph chimes in and says, "Things I never thought I would learn on a hockey watch party. Possums were predators."
Yeah.
There's many things you learn not related to hockey when we get together and start blabbering.
Yep. And Eddie's lightsaber is battery operated.
Well, yes, it's not. The Kyber crystal is not a real thing. I mean, it is, I guess, as far as the color of it, as far as the replica goes, but yeah. Otherwise, no, it does not power the actual lightsaber. Oh boy,
Penguins are hemmed in here to start off. Not looking, not off to a good start here. The shots seem to have declined quite a bit on my broadcast. We're now down to 20 shots and 16. The Penguins had more than that at the end of that period, I thought.
But, we got 19 and 16 on the Penguins broadcast.
Yeah, so without Malkin, without Rust, obviously it's going to fall on Raquel and Crosby, potentially Letang and Carlson. We'll see if they get a second power play. Only been the one power play so far for the Penguins. They did not even get a shot off to our knowledge. And the Kraken had the two-man advantage, and they took advantage of that with a goal to give them the 2-1 lead. But it's been a fairly penalty-free game. And if the
unfortunately for
Kraken
Pittsburgh, they had 2 back-to-back, and that led to the
yeah,
go-ahead goal at the moment on the 2-man advantage.
If the Kraken can stay out of the box, I like their chances to win this game.
Hello to Dustin Burns, who has joined us. Mr. Burns is with us. So hello, Dustin.
Hello, Dustin.
Thanks for joining. Good to have you. I know we didn't promote this a lot, so pretty good turnout for just having kind of decided to do it about a day ago. So
if you have not, and you are watching, not only should you subscribe to our channel, you should hit the thumbs up button on this so that the algorithm knows to recommend it to other people that might like the show and the channel, so that we can get to that 1,000 subscribers that Eddie is very, very optimistic about getting to in the near future. Oh, Joey Decord lost all sight of the puck. Good news for him. It stayed out. Oh, nice save there with the right pad. And now the Penguins are cooking.
Oh, my goodness.
Another right pad save.
Yep.
Oh, baby. Joey Decord.
Boy, Pittsburgh buzzing. Could not get one past him, though.
Sidney Crosby with a grade A scoring opportunity, as they say. And Decord was there with the save. Good stuff. Good stuff there.
Yet to get the third period underway in Edmonton. Oilers and Sabres tied at 2. The other game going on right now. We did have one final in the NHL earlier today. Bruins beating the Avalanche 3-1. Morgan Geekie with a couple of goals for the Bees in that one. Oh boy, more horrific stories of chicken coops. Dave Taylor, sadly as a kid, we had a neighbor's dog get into our yard and tear into our chickens.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah, neighbors' dogs, neighborhood cats are obviously a problem. They're not as, that's more a, they're not going to find their way in. That's a, you left the coop open or you left them out roaming the yard and then the dog got into the yard somehow. We have hawks in the area and vultures. We will be keeping an eye on if I let the chickens out to forage and enjoy the yard, I will be out there to supervise and make sure that they do not get attacked or hurt. Oh, baby.
Well, Doug is significantly ahead of me. There it is right now for me. The one-timer into the net.
Yep. Nice job getting the puck from one side of the ice to the other as a complete defensive zone breakdown.
Jared McCann lighting the lamp.
No, Eli Tolvanen.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
And just absolutely nobody anywhere near him in the defensive zone. And the puck went from the corner out to Tolvanen, his 12th from Jared McCann and Shane Wright. And that makes it 3-1, 15 minutes to go. And the Penguins are in a bad spot right now to try and get 2 points out of this game.
The Kraken stay out of the box. I think they got this one.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what Dan Bilesma and Jessica Campbell and the rest of the coaching staff and captains are telling each other. Make them beat us 5-on-5, guys. And for God's sake, someone stay on Crosby.
Yeah.
If somebody else beats us twice, so be it. Yeah, we have, there's some neighbors down the street that have chickens as well. So we were kind of talking to them about the whole process of being a urban chicken owner, and once you take the precautions, they should be okay. So that's certainly the hopes that these chickens have a long and healthy life here in our backyard.
We are underway in Edmonton. Oilers and Sabres just getting underway here in the third period. Got that game going on here in the office as well, so keep an eye on that one. What's your plans for the rest of the day after you get done doing this, Doug? Just relaxing, taking it easy?
Yard work, my friend.
Oh, fun.
Getting out there to clean up the backyard a little bit, assuming it's not raining. I mean, it's not going to be pouring rain, so even if it's raining, I'll probably still get out there and do some yard work, but less electrical. But other than that, not much. And then tonight I'll be watching a movie, maybe reading, listening to some music. Typical weekend night. I know you got the Kings game coming up. I can tell you what I won't be doing: watching the Ducks. Not unless I hear after the fact that they won the game, because I'm not wasting 2.5 hours or 3 hours of my life watching a team stink it up. No more. Greg Cronin needs to be fired, but they won't do it during the season. Not enough care in the organization to actually make a change. Not mid-season, at least.
Showing, I'm watching the Pittsburgh broadcast, and they're coming back from commercial break, showing all of the Penguins fans that are in and around Climate Pledge Arena. And I was at the Kings Penguins game a week ago, and was pretty impressed with the number of Pittsburgh fans in attendance for that game. Had a good turnout.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh teams always travel pretty well. Pirates fans don't like to admit it anymore, but Penguins have won multiple cups in our lifetime, so they're happy to sport the colors, and they still have some good players. Steelers, of course, travel very well. Oh, that looked like a check from behind from the Penguins. No call.
Wonder if I should switch over to the Seattle broadcast so I can get a little bit closer to you. It seemed like earlier we were okay, and now somehow I've found myself like 10 seconds behind you.
Well, somebody just took a shot from a teammate, friendly fire, and they're limping off the ice for the Kraken. Yeah, I don't know what happened during the intermission. I think somewhere along the way, I got way ahead of you. Maybe in the next TV timeout, switch over. Got an ad on the boards now for the Kraken Black Spiced Rum.
Doug's favorite.
Seems like an appropriate sponsor of the team. Oh, my goodness. You're going to see a pass that goes to a guy and his stick absolutely explodes on just a regular pass.
Yeah, there it goes. Well, it must have been broken already. And then
but that it's just like he goes to receive a regular wrist pass. And
Joseph wanted to know our 2 cents on the Rantanen trade. Do we want to give him a tease of what's coming up on the show on Monday?
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Great deal for Carolina. I mean,
Carolina is. I think they'll re-sign him too. So
I mean, I know that their GM was Tulski.
Yeah,
said today, we're going to obviously give him time to, understandably, see what's here.
Acclimate,
and, see that he likes it here. We think he will. We think he'll fit in well with our group and all that good stuff, and that makes sense. But
Matt Nieto is down and hurt.
Uh-oh.
They are Joey Decord is waving for the trainers.
Oh, no. Yep. And he's had knee issues before. So that's not good. We were talking about him earlier, a guy who we know, or at least my wife knows his family.
Oh, he got hit in the head with the puck.
I've talked to him before. He's been a guest on the show. So hopefully he's okay. Carolina, good team, but we're really in need of a alpha like that, a go. I mean, Sebastian Aho is a really good player, but he's not Mikko Rantanen, who, I mean, he's overshadowed a bit probably in Colorado, but he's a hell of a player, and they really needed a guy like that. So great deal for, Miato did get hit in the jaw neck area. So great deal for Carolina. I mean, I like Marty Necas. He's a good player, and I think Colorado did a decent job of getting, you're never going to get fair value when you have to trade a guy like that.
No.
So it certainly hurts Colorado, but they made a hard decision that they were certainly not going to take a chance of letting him walk at the end of the year and not get something in return. So it's a tough situation for them to be in, but it's difficult in today's NHL, Doug, to pay 3 superstars what they're worth. They got McKinnon, they got Makar, and
that's not the problem. It's that it would be the 4th because they still have Landeskog on the books, and technically this is not a guy that's given up on playing again. So if Landeskog is healthy next season, you don't have him on long-term injured reserve. So you've got Makar, Rantanen, and Landeskog, or Makar, McKinnon, and Landeskog already signed. You can have 3. We've seen that before. But you cannot have 4. Yes,
but to have a competitive team and have pieces around them.
I mean, look at the team we're watching right now. They've got Letang, Crosby, and Malkin. They were able to retain all 3 all these years. That's 3. Getting that 4th player of that level is very tough. Now, if you're going to give up Rantanen, the biggest issue is that it's mid-season. Yep. So you've got a Stanley Cup caliber team, and they've basically said, we're going to make ourselves worse this season to protect ourselves in the future. And they gave up Rantanen, who is obviously the best player of the trade. And they always say the team that gets the best player wins the trade. Well, that's the Hurricanes. And I believe the Hurricanes are going to be able to re-sign him. So they are going to be the big winners of this long term. They get a guy in his prime who's one of the 10 best players in the league. And excellent. Marty Necas had asked for a trade. So, but if you're the Avalanche, you were probably going to lose him. You knew you could not re-sign him for the price he wanted.
By the way, real quick, Pittsburgh is going on the power play here. So they really need this as we just check out on the game real quick. Go ahead.
Yep. So they knew they were going to lose him. And so then it's a matter of what can we get for him? And the price is obviously going to go up during the season because the Hurricanes get him for this season and their potential cup run. So they got Marty Necas, Jack Drury, a 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick. That's excellent return for an expiring asset. Excellent return. And it avoids the John Tavares fiasco that we saw on Long Island, where the Islanders thought we can re-sign him. We'll find a way. Yeah. And then they lost him and got nothing for it.
Yeah. Can't let that happen.
No. So they had to do it. It's a very tough swallow. They weren't happy about it, but it's the right move for the organization and it's good return. The Blackhawks are absolute dopes that are just being used for, because, hey, why don't you pick up half of it and give us Taylor Hall, who's still a serviceable player. He still has value on a 3rd line. And to your point, Eddie, I think it's I compare Carolina to what we saw from Florida a few years ago. Florida had Alexander Barkov, and he is a very good player, but he's not that tip of the spear player that drives things, gets you over the top. Sebastian Aho is similar. Very good player, but not the one that's going to get you over the top. They went out and got Matthew Tkachuk in Florida. He is an alpha player. He is a top line player that's going to get you over the top, and he did. And I think Mikko Rantanen puts them in that position as well. They now have a legitimate superstar to go along with a very good supporting cast, and they have an excellent chance. You got to know there was a standing ovation when he walked into that locker room, and their players are absolutely psyched that they think this is the year we're going to go after the Stanley Cup because we just went out and got one of the best players in the world. And yeah, maybe they liked Marty Necas, but hey, if I can get Mikko Rantanen, I'm willing to pack just about anybody in the suitcase on the way out of town. Unless it's me, I want to stay here, but great trade for Carolina.
Pittsburgh does not take advantage of the power play. There was one good chance where Decord gave up a rebound that could have been dangerous, but his teammate was right there to get it and clear it. And so it is still 3-1 Seattle, now under 8 minutes to go in this game.
Yeah, that was, I mean, obviously there's plenty of time left here, but that felt like if you're going to score and get back in this game, make it a one goal game, that was a great opportunity.
Still tied at 2, under 12 in the third period in Edmonton, Sabres, and Oilers. And I think it was Buffalo just had a power play and could not convert on that one.
Commercial timeout. So do you want to try and change over to the Kraken broadcast?
Sure, I'll do that. Done and done.
There you go. Should be watching people extolling the virtues of T-Mobile.
I got a Prize Picks ad.
Make sure you've clicked on live.
Yep. There we go. I'm seeing some sort of energy drink. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh, our old friend Jarith has joined.
Hey,
long time no here. He says, long time. Great seeing some familiar names. Very nice. I got the name right, didn't I?
I don't know. You tell me.
You met him in Minnesota.
I'm saying you're reading it.
Okay.
Is it him? I'm not looking at the name.
Yeah, it's him. It's him.
Okay. Then yes, Dr. Jarith is in the house. If you have any medical questions, he can help you.
I'm sure that's just what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, in his free time.
Give out free medical advice to people on the internet. Hey, I'll ask him, since we were talking about it earlier, if I'm allergic to a prescription drug, should I continue taking it? Because the TV said no. We were talking about and I am curious for you. I do have a question for him. How many patients come to you already knowing what medication they want as a result of the proliferation of ads on TV?
Somehow, I don't know, I guess it was maybe the Tavares comment. The Islanders have become a little bit of a topic in the chat. Chris says the Islanders are a hot mess. Fire Lou.
Bring back Garth Snow.
Meredith says Lou should probably retire at this point.
Yeah. It's 2025
Andrew says
and this guy still has no beards law.
Andrew says, is Lou still alive?
We don't know. He's still the GM. Let's put it that way.
Max says, did I see the Islanders brought in Tony DeAngelo? Yes, they did sign him. Cleared waivers and
Yeah, the Islanders have chosen to contract cancer. And that is a goal. Drive home safely, folks. Matty Beniers on a 2-on-1 bad giveaway in the neutral zone. Anyone know what team that is from? That horn.
I do not. Well, that lady's loving it.
Yeah. That was when I was cutting highlights for Fox Sports net. I always included fan cutaways like that. And that was, and then in my shot sheet that I wrote for the talent, it would be Kraken fans love it.
Another one-timer for a goal.
Yep. Cross ice one-timer. The goalie has no chance.
Nope.
2-on-1. Matty Beniers 11th with the assist to Capo Caco. That acquisition
nice
of Caco has worked out.
Yep.
Yeah. They went out and got Bjorkstrand.
Oh.
And then obviously the Caco acquisition. I love those two moves for a young team like this. Bowie is high-fiving the fans. He's loving it. Why wouldn't you?
Is Bowie a he?
Well, I have no idea.
I don't either.
It.
Yeah.
I'm not going to check. That's up to you.
Well, you're the one who loves
Hey,
the
Bowie,
mascots.
show me your lightsaber.
Jarith says, "Don't take things you're allergic to." Good tip.
I just love that when they tell me.
Says I'm good on the name. That's rare, but thank you.
Yeah.
And he says, just signing up for Patreon. Huzzah!
Hey.
God bless you. Joseph says, got to go. Good night. Good night to you, Joseph. Thanks for joining us from Sweden.
Yes. Have a very good evening. And I hope that we are able to do this more often and that we get a regular community of people joining us. That would be very nice. Yeah, Capo Caco has 14 points in 17 games since joining the Kraken. That's a good acquisition right there. And now they are just laying back with a 3-goal lead, eating the clock.
Well, the interesting, the laptop that I was watching the game on has crapped out on me here.
The laptop, like the
so I hope
lightsaber.
I hope we are still broadcasting here because it said I have no internet, but the game I'm watching on my left, the Oilers and the Sabres, are through a smart TV, which is streaming the internet, and the computer that has my camera that's broadcasting appears to be fine. So hopefully everything else is okay.
Yep. So can you not see the comments anymore?
I cannot. I will have to try and get back onto that. So stand by if you're commenting, if you're doing that. We'll effort to reestablish connection. And I cannot watch the game.
Effort is not a verb.
It is in our industry somehow.
Yeah, no. Let's see what the comments have to say here. Scott, our old friend, the comedian Scott up in Vancouver. I don't know if he is still in Vancouver or not. You tell me, Scott. I had a dream last night that I met both of you, and Doug was a lot taller and fatter than I expected.
All right.
I am the heaviest I've ever been, and I love it. Grew up skinny my whole life. Always wanted to gain weight. Finally am. I am not upset about it one bit. Let's see.
All right, we've reestablished connection here. So,
we're at the commercial for God knows what. Chris Stiles said the Islanders had to sign D'Angelo because Noah Dobson is going to be out for a few months. They didn't have to sign him. Not sure that there's got to be a better option, right? He's not a guy that a lot of people love having in the locker room.
Oh boy. Now Andy is asking Jarith if you're dishing out free medical advice. I don't think he is, but is it fine to just super glue shut a hole in your leg when you drop a knife into it, right?
What?
Super glue a knife wound. Is that okay?
We'll see. I would think it's better than nothing, but I would say go get medical attention for it.
Doug
Scott says it's true. He really did have that dream. My goodness. And he was absurdly skinny until he was 20 and then just very skinny until he was 35. Now I'm getting fat, although I'm dieting because I don't like being fat.
Jarith says, did you clean the wound first? What the hell's going on? And Dave says, go with electrical tape. Okay.
Yeah. Get some Flex Seal on that thing.
What's that tape where the guy closes a hole in a boat and then you see him out on the
Flex
water?
Seal.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's yeah. I just cut this boat in half. And then he fixes it with this Flex Seal tape and takes it back out on the water.
I assure you.
It does work. It is like I've seen people test it on YouTube, and it does work.
The Mythbusters, so to speak. Yeah,
it's not a permanent fix, but it will make your boat seaworthy if you've cut your boat in half for some reason.
If only Robert Redford had that on his That movie we watched.
Oh, All Is Lost.
All
One
Is
of my
Lost.
absolute favorite movies.
It was very good. It was very good.
Man almighty, that's a great movie. What a script, right?
Like, yeah, where's the dialogue?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a book. There's no dialogue.
I have bad news to report. The Oilers have taken the lead.
That's not bad news.
That is terrible news. Let's see who scored for Edmonton. We have not had a Draisaitl goal as of yet in this game. Survey says. Any guesses? Anyone? Oh, RNJ has struck again. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, second of the game, 15th of the season.
I don't think it's RNJ.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins? RNH, sorry. RNH.
Pure cane sugar. That's the one. Blomqvist's mask is very nice, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a black matte with the gold, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got the Finnish flag there on the back. Finkelstein says that the hobo cut off his earlobe and he glued it back on. So, yeah.
The hobo glued it back on, or he did?
Didn't say.
I like to think the hobo was. Oh, sorry about that. Let me get that back on there for you.
I mean, the least he could do after cutting it off.
All right. Well, you get between a hobo and his stew. That's on you.
Stew. Doug Wilson, who I forgot is a Sabres fan, says, Sabres losing, I'm shocked. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Jeez. Andy says he has not been to the doctor in 20 years. Last time I scalped myself and they just glued the flap of skin on, so I assumed that that's what they do. What kind of doctor did you go to?
Dr. Pepper. Dr. Demento.
All right, we hit the 2 minute mark of the game with the Kraken comfortably in front 4-1.
I think it's over. In fact, the Kraken are going to a power play, up 3 with 2 minutes to play.
So we would like
Kevin Purple Hayes will be going to the penalty box.
We would like to take this opportunity to thank you to all who have joined us and remind you that we are going to do this again next week. 3:30 Eastern time. We will be having our second Puck Podcast watch party as the Bruins host the Rangers. If you would like to follow along with that, or probably just join us and see what happens. So
next week, Rangers Bruins 3:30 Eastern for our next broadcast. But I will also remind you that if you're watching this and enjoying it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit a thumbs up so that the algorithm recommends it to others. We do want to thank all of you for joining us. I thank Eddie for having the idea, and it has been enjoyable. I would not have watched the Penguins Kraken otherwise. I will put it
same. So,
but not a bad game. There's nothing wrong with it. Just a normal NHL game.
Yeah, for the Penguins, they will continue to go forward here and try and get back in the wild card race, but things aren't looking great. And you wonder what they're going to be able to do at the trade deadline if things continue the way they are, if anything. But not in a great position right now. Seattle also not in a great spot to try and get back into the race in the West. We'll see. This was a nice win for them, and they'll take it from here.
Yeah, regulation 2 points on home ice on family day, so the kids are happy. Everybody's going to go home happy and enjoy the rest of their weekend. So nice win for Seattle. The biggest concern for Pittsburgh, forget the outcome, is Malkin's health.
Yeah,
what his injury may be. If he's out long term, their chances of getting back in the playoff race, which are already thin, become very, very, very thin. So hopefully he will be back soon. And it didn't look devastating when it happened,
Yeah.
But then again, Dale Earnhardt's crash didn't look devastating either.
Yeah. They bringing that up. So yeah, Drith, it was good to see you join us, and hopefully we'll see you again. It was great for you to stop by. Thanks to everyone. Good to see some old familiar names and a couple of new ones.
Yeah, no, it's
So
very nice to hear from all of you, familiar faces and familiar names. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate your support over the years, this season, and hopefully we hear from you again in the future for the rest of the season. We do this. Maybe we do it during the Four Nations as well. We will see how it goes. But the playoffs will definitely be a fun time because then the games will matter and we can pay more attention and talk about less things like Eddie's lightsaber.
Or Doug's chickens. All right, that is a final. The Kraken have defeated the Penguins 4-1. Earlier today it was the Bruins over the Avalanche 3-1, and right now the Oilers are leading the Sabres 3-2. A lot of hockey still to come on the day. If you're going to watch some more hockey, enjoy it. And we will talk to you on Monday with our next episode of the Puck Podcast. Have a great rest of your weekend.